Hi, thanks everyone for bearing with my nervousness, but I will move on. Paul already said some of this stuff here. That's my unit, gene therapy, muscular dystrophy. And how does that help us understand how the parts of the body work together and what can go wrong? I was in Mark's seminar, Engineering and Global Health. We, over the course of the 2 weeks, explored the links between our health, our physiology, our biology, how those things work together. We discussed a bunch of topics, as well as went into Mark's lab and working with the postdocs and students in his lab, explored some of the techniques that they use in doing research and learning about how biomedical engineering, anatomy, physiology, all these things work together to help us learn more about ourselves and being healthy, and incorporate that into my unit. All right, so the standards that were related to my unit, NGSS standards, the life science standards. Big questions for the LS1 is, how do organisms grow, work, develop? And the second standard, how do organisms pass on traits to future generations? And how that is organized in my classroom for anatomy and physiology is, there are parts of our body, they have a job, things can go wrong, and we fit every unit we do into that framework. If we can get the parts, know what they can do, figure out what they can go wrong, we can fix it and go on. My unit for muscular dystrophy is going to be a small insert when we get into the muscular system unit. And pick muscular dystrophy because it's a pretty representative disease that can help us really understand how normal muscles could work, because they don't work in this abnormal condition. That's a really, really complicated thing about how genes work and whatnot. Not gonna leave that up there for very long. The point of the main goal of my unit is, could we come up with a very simple way, a very single paradigm to help students grasp this main idea. Big thing here is DNA, we have some bases, put them together, we make proteins, da-da-da. Seems complicated. Something that's more simple is writing sentences, using words and letters to make sense of things. So, we have letters in the alphabet. We use those letters to make words. The letters are the basis of our model here. The words are gonna be the amino acids that we make with them. And then we make sentences, those are the proteins. If the sentences make sense, they represent the function of the protein. It's the big idea there. The goal of the unit is, my students, if they understand this, can use this model to represent muscular dystrophy and how things work. That protein is the dystrophin protein, the basis of muscular dystrophy. So, examples to make this make sense. This sentence here has a bunch of 3-letter words. Amino acids are 3 sentences. That sentence up there, the big bad red fox ran da-da-da-da, and makes it simple, makes sense. If we make small changes in there, representing a mutation, it can have a small effect, can have no effect, or it can have a really, really serious effect. 3 examples here. First one, we changed 1 letter, the word ran changed to run, meaning of the sentence is still intact. So change, not much of a problem still though, we're fine. Second one, at the end, the sentence stops prematurely. Bulk of the function is there, but there are some small changes in the meaning of the sentence. And then lastly, example 5, 1 small change, 1 letter is inserted in the middle, and everything after it does not make sense. The idea, students can make these sentences of their own and then explain how that complicated thing from earlier makes sense. All right, moving on very quickly. That last example up there, this is a drug that was recently approved for use in patients with muscular dystrophy. And how this drug works is, using this sentence up here, the big red R there, that causes all those problems and everything that came after it. If you can just jump over that part of the sentence, yes, you lose a small part of the meaning, but the main job of the sentence is still being done. And so the bulk of the unit, we're going to use that to make sense of muscular dystrophy and how that works. Now, we have not gotten to this yet, but But the reason I brought up this particular example is I've been working with our AP biology teacher who's also going to do a bigger unit on genetics. And this idea here where you can take a part of a sentence, jump over it, and have the idea still make sense, they're going to use that and use other potential diseases that can be treated in the same way, and those students will be developing a unit along those lines. So we're going to take this when we get to it for anatomy and physiology, and then they're going to build upon it in AP Bio and have this basic understanding of the parts of a sentence and lead to this job, and then develop a more in-depth knowledge about genes and amino acids and all that jazz. That's about 5 minutes, right? Yeah. Thank you, guys.